Hey guys, how's it going? It's the boy JP, back with another video. And in today's video, I want to share with you some of my key lessons after 7 years of selling fitness and high ticket fitness services. So 7 years, wow, it's a long time. So I started off back in 2017 as a personal trainer at Pure Gym in London, Canary Wharf, where I was firstly I was working as a paid employee, but after a couple months I transitioned into a full-time personal trainer paying rent. And I was paying £1,000 a month rent. So I know a lot of you watching this are like, £1,000 a month? That's about 1,400 US, maybe 1,400 US, just to use the gym. I know some of you are like, what, that's so much money, but I actually wish it was double because there would have been less trainers in there and I would have made the money back. So that wasn't a problem for me. Okay, per month rent. So obviously, I had to learn how to sell because I had to pay that every month. I had my home apartment, which was about 1,500 a month. To live there in around Canary Wharf is one of the most wealthiest places in London, in the UK, maybe even in the world, in terms of all the big banks are there, HSBC, Barclays, Citibanks, Morgan, JP Morgan, all the biggest banks are in that small area, and I was living within 10-minute drive. So I had to pay a lot of money, I had a car, so I had to learn how to sell. But there was many times I was making roughly about £8,000 a month. Some good months I'd make over 10. I think the most I made was 11 or 12,000 pounds in a month, all from selling. So I did that until the pandemic. So 2020, pandemic, and I lost all my clients, and then life was terrible. And then I up and packed. And then I tried to transition to be an online trainer. And this was a disaster. So online trainer. And then, so from 2020, I was doing that struggle. The gym kept on opening and closing. I'd make some money back in the gym when it opened. And then when it closed, I was doing a mix of Zoom sessions, Zoom training. I would be training clients in the park. I had some really good clients that I got great results for in the park. I had some dumbbells and I'd throw them in the car, and that was actually not bad times thinking back. That was some good nostalgia, training with my clients. They were good ones that stayed with me. And I think they enjoyed the service as well, getting out of their house and doing some workout, getting their workouts in for the day. And I was very grateful for their money at the time. And then in 2021, I actually moved to Mexico, where I actually had a few clients online, but I actually trained clients in the local gym here in Mexico. I'm actually back, believe it or not. So in Mexico, and then I was doing that, a mix of different sales. I actually got into selling parties and events, which is another different kind of sell. And then back in 2022, came back to the UK, and then I relaunched my coaching business, which took me to South Africa. I'll give you my whole life story here. South Africa, then Argentina, where I was trying to launch my online business, and that was a disaster. Again, eventually got ill, came back to the UK, and then from 2023 up until now, I have been a remote closer selling for other offers. So I've sold for influencers like Dr. Michael Diamonds, and right now I work for a company called Committed Coaches as well, where I've sold high tickets. So in this period, working as basically a salesperson, I've sold coaching packages from about $1,200 all the way through to $7,000. So you can see a plethora of experience here. This is like my YouTube, LinkedIn. But I've sold many offers all about fitness. I thank God that for most of I've always been selling fitness and health because that's been my passion. It's my area of competence. You can see the physique. I've been training for 14 years. And yeah, I feel like I'm very experienced when it comes to selling fitness and well-versed to share with you what I've learned. It's got to be, after all these years, it's definitely over 500,000 sold in terms of fitness. It's got to be. Especially after all these years. So, anyway, these are some of the lessons I've learned. Now, the first key lesson is how they enter this sales conversation is critical. So 1, how are they entering the conversation? Now, as Jordan Belfort would say, there's 2 buyers. So you've got buyers in heat and you've got buyers in power. So you've got heat v power. Now, a buyer in heat is someone who is in a difficult situation. So there is a lot of pressure. So maybe they've got a wedding coming up in 3 months' time, or a vacation coming up in 3 months' time, or they've just been diagnosed with diabetes, high blood pressure, or something drastic has happened and they need a solution now. Now, speaking to these people here is way better. There's a lot more desire on their end and there's a lot more urgency. Urgency is the key. Urgency. This is your friend as a salesperson. Urgency. You want urgency. Like, I want this now, I need it now, because it just makes your job so much easier. Now, the buyers in power are the ones where they're like, weighing their options, not so urgent. I want to lose a couple pounds. I want to get in better shape. I want to fit better in my clothes. I want to look better in photos. Now, there's probably some deep pain within if you have to dig it out, but for the most part, it's going to be more of a challenge to sell these people. Maybe they're just price shopping. And when I say price shopping, no one, even though they're looking around, they're still going to buy from someone at the end of the day. You just hope it's you, But the conversations you have here and here will be very different. So that's number 1. Now, how well do they know you? For example, if you're a personal trainer on the gym floor, they've seen you do an amazing class, they're new to the gym, they don't know anyone, and they have urgency. Easy sell. Some of the easiest sales I ever made were in the gym. Now, since I've moved on and selling over the phone and selling for different offers, I definitely didn't realize how easy it was to sell in the gym. If you're a PT and you're in the gym, you should be selling like hotcakes because they're seeing you in person, they're seeing your energy, they're seeing your vibe, they should see you around the gym floor, talking to people, seeing your physique. And in that sales environment, once you put it together, it should be such a knockdown, easy sell, like crazy. It's the easiest sales I ever made were in the gym. And like I said, I got to points where I was doing over 5 figures, which is definitely possible, even as a one-to-one trainer. So that's number 1. And for example, selling people who are, so Jordan Belfort always also talks about the 3 10s. So if someone wants to buy, they need to be a 10 out of 10 in terms of the company that you work with or who you're representing. So that could be your own business or someone else. There needs to be a 10 out of 10 in terms of the service. So what are you selling them? Are you selling them online coaching? Are you selling them one-to-one training in the gym, in person, group coaching? And there needs to be 10 out of 10 on you. And even then, you might have the 3 10s and they still don't buy. But if you get the 3 10s, they're way more likely to buy. Now, what I've realized is sometimes you can sell for offers where they're a bit iffy on the company. Maybe they're like a 6 or a 7 because they've got lots of ads and marketing and they were forced to watch a super long video and they've been bombarded with emails and texts and they're skeptical, which means they can love the service, they can love you, but if they're off about the company, it's an uphill battle. And you can tell this because when you're talking with them, you can tell their state from their tonality. So if there's a buying state and a non-buying state. So it's a buying state. So for example, a state of urgency is more of a buying state, where they feel empowered to buy, they feel motivated, incentivized to do something and do something now. So if they're not so keen on the company, their buying state might be off, they might be a bit skeptical, and it's an uphill battle. So the company you work for, this is critical. This is very, very critical. And I've heard other trainers say this, and it's so true. So obviously, if it's your own company, you and the company are all in the same. I guess if you're working out of a gym, they must be pretty happy with the gym you're at. But if they're not happy with the company, then you're pedaling upstream. You're rowing upstream. So this is key. Now, thankfully, for the company I work with, they come from different areas, so I can dictate the people I speak to. And what I've really noticed even more recently is that if I call person A from product A and they love the company, they love the products, it's going to be way easier than speaking to person B from product B. It's just a completely different conversation, different energy, more trust, which means they trust you as well, because there's a lot of what happens before they jump on the phone with you, and this is key as a salesperson to understand this. So that's number one. How would they enter in the conversation? Now, number two. Number two is, how are you entering the conversation? I'm actually doing this on the fly. I'm just speaking out loud. I've been thinking about this for so many years. So it's easy for me to just spiel off. How are you entering the conversation? Now, if your life is not in a good place, then sales can be a lot harder than it needs to be. So, for example, the period where I was breaking up with my fiance was very hard. I was very distracted. I was ill. My body was ill. I was unfocused. I was unhappy. And I didn't have that skill to separate that from my sales calls. So my performance was not good. And the thing is, your energy is everything. Your energy, your frequency is so important in sales. It's so important. If you're down, if you're desperate, if you're needy, if you're miserable, it's gonna impact your tone. For example, you can listen to my tone in the video. In this video, I'm quite excited, I'm quite energized, speaking to you guys, catching up for after so long. Whereas if I was to speak a bit more monotone and like, I don't give a damn, I wish I wasn't here, this is the worst job in the world, I wish I was doing something else, I wish I wasn't in London, I wish I wasn't doing sales, you can hear it from my voice. And the prospect can hear it too. When you're in sales, you've got to be an actor. You have to be an actor. That's the only way you can mediate, you can combat, I'm trying to figure the right word, but you can work against your feelings, because feelings aren't going to make you money. Feelings, unless you're feeling good and optimistic, that's the only feeling that is going to make you money, but any negative feelings is not going to make you money. So you have to be an actor as much as you can and play the role of the best salesman in the world. Play the role. Best salesman ever. And the best salesman ever is not even someone who's super, like, we're talking like Boiler Room, Wolf of Wall Street. We're talking someone empathetic, optimistic, content, not even necessarily happy, but someone who's just there to help the person. And someone trustworthy, most part, trustworthy. And this is key. That trust is everything. Trust is everything, especially when we're talking about high ticket, someone you've never met before, giving you their card details over the phone within 40 minutes. It's not easy. My boy tells me this all the time. It's not an easy feat for someone to trust you like that, to give you their details. You could be doing whatever with their card details. You could be anything, and they're trusting you. And the only way they can do that, especially if you're selling on the phone, is your tone. And Jeremy Miner talks about this a lot. Check out his stuff, his YouTube's really good. I've watched so much of his content. Because there's so many different ways to say the same thing, and your tone is the way that they'll interpret the words. It's like every company has the same script, but why do some people perform so much better than other people? It's because of the tone. It's how you'd speak to your mum versus speaking to an enemy or someone you don't like, or in an argument with your girl versus when you're having good times with your girl. Your voice will change, and it's an actual instrument. You can use your voice to sing, you can use your voice to curse someone, you can use your voice to bless someone. And you can say the same thing a million ways, but your energy is going to dictate your tone, especially if you're not conscious. I'm always conscious of my tone now because I know how the human mind is so attuned. You can mess up a whole call from, not even from a word you say, from maybe someone says something, opens up, I've been dealing with this for a long time, and you're like, okay. Like, you might just not even have been paying attention, but just that person might be thinking, is this person even listening to me? Are they just trying to sell me something? And you can mess up a whole call just from one utterance of your tone. Because even when they're talking, you can be, some people say you should be silent, but I would actually, as they're talking, you might be like, okay, yeah, I see, okay, And that just shows you're engaged. There's just so much to it, so much nuance. And it's not only until after you sell for years you start picking up on these small things. But your energy is crucial. So that's another big lesson learned. Now, another lesson I've learned is that there will be ups and downs. There will be ups and downs. And that's why it's so important to have savings and don't splash all your money, because you never want to go broke. And sales is one of those things. Who knows? Anything can happen. You can lose your job, or there could be another pandemic, or the gym might close, or you might be ill. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So you must have savings. You must approach this the right way when it comes to sales, because you're not earning a plain salary. It's not like a 9 to 5. And the last thing you want to do is come on these calls acting desperate and hungry and pushing. And that's a big mistake I've made as well. I've been that guy that has gone all the way in, buy or die, go all the way until they hang up the phone. And it's just a horrible energy. Imagine that. Every call, every day, you're fighting with prospects and getting into battle mode. You don't want to get into that zone. Like, that is a horrible environment to sell. I've kind of got that balance where I'm more nonchalant with it. It's like, if you want it, do you want it or not? I don't go that blatant with it, but I'll go through my process, be as understanding as possible. I'll lay out the facts and figures. It's going to be this much. This is what you're going to get. And if you want to do it, great. If you don't want to do it, that's fine as well. Because an abundant mindset is so key. Like, having an abundance mindset is so, so key for sales. Oh my goodness. Abundance mindset. It's like anything, even in relationships. Whenever you're needy, it's the most off-putting energy in the world, is someone needing you, needing something. It's just horrible. It smells like that commission breath. You don't want to ever have that. You want to have that abundance. And if you don't have that, then you need to create that. Get someone with more leads. Find another opportunity. Spend more on marketing. Speak to more people on the gym floor. Do more classes. Just have more than enough. Because this way, you're going to be more relaxed on the calls. You're not going to be pushing them too much. The questions you're going to be asking, the way you're responding is just going to make so much of a difference. Now, also, hire a trainer. Now, I hired a sales coach, and I recently parted ways with my coach. She was fantastic, and I just got to the point where I just felt I learned enough. I felt, okay, I've worked with you so long that I'm actually losing my capacity to be independent and problem solve myself. And I was just kind of getting into a bit of a rut in terms of having that pressure of having someone to constantly review my progress and And I just wanted to be free, and it's made a huge difference. But until that point, I would definitely hire someone. Now, if you're trying to get in this game, whether you're trying to develop your PT business in the gym, whether you want to get into remote sales, health and fitness, I'm here to help you. In fact, click the link in the description. You can schedule a call with me right now, and I can share with you some tips over my years of experience when it comes to selling health and fitness. And I've even got a job for you as well. If you want to be able to live out in Mexico like me, or travel the world, live life on your own terms, I can help you get to that stage. But definitely having a trainer help me, someone to listen to my calls, someone to really break down the game, has got me to the point where I feel so confident with selling. Like, I just know what to do now. I know what to listen out for, because a lot of this game is listening. It's not so much about speaking, it's a lot about listening. What the person's saying, the words behind the words, because just because someone says something, it doesn't mean the 100% truth. They might be meaning something slightly different. And it's your job to uncover that, to help the client to really see what's going on. Because a lot of times they're speaking with you, they've never had this kind of conversation before. They've probably even not had a conversation with themselves about their health and fitness, or the reality of what's going to happen to them if they keep going down the wrong path. So this is a really valuable, high-level conversation you're having with them. And you just have to be more attuned. And that only happens with experience. I'm still a baby in this game. I mean, 7 years is a long time, but I'm still a pup. I intend to be in health and fitness for the rest of my life. I'm committed to that, because it's a problem that's never going to go away. I mean, for as long as humans are alive, there's going to be humans wanting to get better health, fighting diseases. So I'm committed to this for life, and I'm enjoying the journey. It's been up and down. You've seen the videos. Just scroll through, you'll see some hella lows, you'll see some hella highs, but we're in a good spot right now. So yeah, book that call. Happy to help you guys. And any questions at all, I want to do more videos in the future about being a personal trainer in the gym, because I know some of you are coming across my content from before and you're actually looking to get yourself started in the gym. So I want to help you there, whether it's sales, health and fitness, marketing. And as I learn more, I'm going to be sharing more gems with you as well, in terms of what's working for me, in terms of online business, in person. And this channel is really about my journey, my personal journey. And any questions, hit me up. Instagram's there as well. But yeah, love you guys. Keep pushing, keep grinding. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.